Her name is Marini Ramlan. Give her a round of applause, please.
I don't know how to talk, Umi, seriously. I'm like, shit,
She's so tall.
I know.
She's so short.
And I'm gonna have to sit down. I don't know when. Okay. So, my name is Mimi. I'm just gonna sit down and be all posy, like I always do for photo shoots. I work in television. I've been working in the industry for the last 13 years. Nearly 14 years actually, and at the same time I also do a lot of artwork. I do painting and stuff like that. I'm pretty random actually, random in my own right. I refuse to be defined, and I think a lot of people kind of like resonate with that. So I think my stories are going to be kind of disjointed because I think I need to explain this. This is this. A lot of people look at me a certain way. They say, oh Nini, you're in magazines or whatever, you know, and I'm going, yeah, whatever. So I started life as a fat girl. My first story is called Fat Nini. I was a fat girl, and a lot of people used to call me, well, my cousins used to call me Gajah, Bun Bun, which is Buntat, which is like, you know, the blowfish. If I went to the island, there was nothing bigger, then they call me Buntat, which is like horrible. What did they call me? Bada or whatever, when I was younger. And I think I was 11 years old at the time. Elaine, you had not met me. Elaine and me went to school in Champaka, and I was 13 then. This was before, ages 11 to 12. Fat girl. Not really fat in retrospect. I was tall. I was 5'4", 5'5" for standard 6. That's pretty huge, right? And I was fairly big, and I think my body was adjusting to food intake. So, you know, I was rather big for my size, and people called me that. I used to go back to Terengganu a lot. My mom was from Terengganu. And I used to spend a lot of my holidays there by myself. I would take a plane and go to Terengganu up in the East Coast. And I'd go there because my family loves to cook for me. That was my favorite because I could eat ikan menat, nasi dagang, ikan whatever, kerupuk leko, and all that was my best thing. So here I was eating one time. I remember this very, very significant story. I was eating my kerupuk and I was watching TV. And then my uncle, who was 6'7", or I think he was 6'7", he looked like that, he was on the floor. He was like, he comes up to me and he's like an NFL 200-pound guy. He's like, Allah, Nini, Nini, and in translation, he said, damn, your thighs are huge, just as big as me. And I was 11 years old. And I'm sitting going, what the freaking hell? So I'm like, I ran back home to my auntie's house. I was still in Japan. I called my mom. I need to go back home. I hate life. I'm so fat, you know? And I went down this huge starving period, and I was at the brink of anorexia. And I didn't even know that, you know? I just didn't eat. And a lot of people till today say, Nini, you never eat, Nini. I do, I eat. I really do. But I had this huge complex about it growing up. And I always thought that I was never adequate enough. And till today, I cannot look at my uncle the same way. And it made me think how adults talk to younger children.
Yeah.
You need to be really mindful of that, because it really hurts. And till today, I will never thank him, because I think after that I went on this huge diet, and then I went all skinny, and then by the time Elaine there, everybody still thinks Nini's tall, lanky, skinny, but before, inside, I'm still fat Nini. You know, I still like my peanut butter and my celery and my Big Mac, and I used to eat Big Mac with the sundae and apple pie by myself at the Jaya, eating there nicely. I loved it, and I really, really did not like the fact that people make me feel bad about my weight. And until today, people always say that, you know, if I put on a little bit of weight, they will say, oh, Nini, you feel a little bit, say, hot, Nini? And I'm like, the fuck, man, seriously. So I think it took me a while. I'm 35 years old and love being 35. Love it, I love being 30. I think 30 is when I've come into my own, and I think being 30 is when you finally realize everything is so clear as a woman. Finally. And it's amazing. Umi, I hope when you're 35, you'll sit down here and just go, I love my boobs, while you still do. I'm 35 and I'm not married and I'm not seeing anyone, which is fine. I think that's fine. For a while though, a lot of people made me feel bad about that. Oh, what is your problem? Seriously, you know. I mean, it's not through my own fault. You know, it's as you can see, it's not as if I'm like on the street, like not attractive or whatever. You know, I'm still doing my own, and perhaps I'm a little bit too vocal. Maybe that's what a lot of the businessmen like to tell me. Maybe you're a bit too vocal, Marini. Maybe you like to say a lot of what you think. I said, so the hell? Because I think you're a douchebag, and I can do your work better than you, you know? So that's one of my things in the big conglomerate. It's not a secret. I work in Media Prima. A lot of people hate that. I'm the good one, okay? So if you want to get your content across, then that's the person to talk to is me. Oh yeah, Astro. I like to collaborate with people, so next time you want to talk to me about stuff, let's do it together. So where was I? I lost my businessman always say that I'm a bit too vocal. A Malay man think I'm too matsale. You know, I've been here for 13 years with me. I still am that Marini yang cakap matsale tu or Marini yang matsale tu dekat TV3. It's a stupid. I know. I'm a Malay girl, but I speak fluent English. What is the problem? You know what I mean? And I get that a lot. I get a lot of misconception. I think my theme here is about this. Does not usually tally to what you think. And I've had to sort of wrap my head around that because society always tells you a certain thing, like you're supposed to behave a certain way, blah, blah, blah. And it's taken me a while to get around that. So that's my Fat Nini story, and being 30, awesome.
Yeah.
Funny story. So my life has been in broadcasting for the last 13 years. And I really started from semi-bottom, okay, because I was overqualified. I did visual communications in Birmingham. I had high school in Australia, and I grew up in New York. So there was like a whole bunch of things like transatlantic slang all over the place now. But at the end of the day, my first job in TV3, when I started, because I came back, what am I going to do? I didn't want to go into advertising, sorry. It's a bit too dry for me. So I thought, okay, TV, I can do something with TV, I can do something. And so they said, all right, you're obviously qualified, so what would you like to do? Would you like to do entertainment or sports? And I thought, well, I don't know anybody apart from Siti Nurhaliza, so I'll do sports because I play golf. Yeah, I play golf, so yeah, I do. So let's go ahead and have a round of golf. And my first job was badminton, Chinese badminton, and I had to learn how to keep score. That was lovely. And then my next big break was Formula One, 1999. Formula One, Malaysia's first Formula One, and I was the girl carrying the camera crew, and I worked with a whole bunch of Malay boys, which was wonderful because it made me realize how you need to work with men in such a Malay environment. I can speak the lingo, you can talk to me whatever, I can understand it, I can go down to that level if I wanted to, but I will not. But anyways, my first job there was Formula One, and my producer had passed out in the room. Yes, seriously. So I was in charge of doing the small live show right before Bill Murray came out. Is it Bill Murray? The commentator? So he, before the live telecast, before we hit to the international feed, I did the local version. So he had passed out, and it was like 5 minutes to live, and they said, okay, Marini, what live show? I'm like, it's settled, let's do this. Okay, so ini bilik, okay, great. Itu host, itu playback 1, 2, 3, camera 1, 2, sekarang Marini telefon Conti. Who the hell's Conti? Conti is that guy that you know in the main thing that goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm here going to my phone and it's like, okay, so what do I do now? I said, so go 5, 4. Okay, kita bilang together, okay? Okay, 5, 4, 3, and my presenter was like shitting in his pants because I'm like, okay, so I switch camera 1, and look at it. Okay, that's alright, I can do that. And then just before live, the door opens and a whole bunch of guys were just laughing at me outside. But I got chopped slapped basically. After that, they go, okay, she's alright, she can handle it. No matter what you throw at me, I can do whatever that I can do. You don't have to label me. You give it, bring it. I can do a live show. You want me to do badminton? I can. You want me to do rugby? I can. You want me to do wrestling? I did wrestling for 2 years. Armageddon, SummerSlam, I edited that shit down. Yeah. WWF, mornings, from all the nights, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, even the specials, Armageddon and all that. Mick Foley, I met Mick Foley. Diamond Dallas Page, the wrestler, all those guys I met when I was growing up. So I did sports. After that, I left TV3. It wasn't challenging me enough. I went into production by myself. I did Millionaire. Didn't know how to do Millionaire, but they're like, sure, this is how you do a budget. And that's Jalaluddin Hassan, which is the host. And I carry on, girl. And I'm like, yay, that's nice. And I did, Millionaire was lovely because one special I did was a Hari Raya special, and I decided to change the colors to green. And I didn't know it was a format, and you're not supposed to do that. So obviously, at 5 o'clock in the morning, hello, can I speak to Marini, please? It's like, hi. Yes, this is Celador, the format owners. I understand that you've changed our lighting colors to green. I was like, yes, I did. Do you know you're not supposed to do that? Blah, blah, blah. Have you not read the Bible? And I'm like, oh, there's a Bible. So. So I did Millionaire for a while, produced blah blah blah, ended up as content developer in Media Premier now. So now I create formats for the mass market, and that's been grand. But on the side, whatever, it's my job. It's my job, and I love it. I'm a creative explorer, so be it. I'll do it for the masses. People will go, how can you? And I'm like, yeah, you kind of do whatever that you do. You believe in what you do, but it doesn't have to define you. And I guess that's my theme. And also make best in what you have to do. And have fun with it. And art is the only thing that ties me and makes me sane. So I've been doing art all my life, ever since I was young, thanks to my mother. Ever since I was 3, I was painting on the floors, on the walls, and all that stuff. And I've done that in tandem with my TV. So TV and art together, and that is my life, and it has nourished me and made me who I am today. So I love the fact that we're doing this big fish, because this is your love, and I'm sharing this with you tonight, and thank you so much for this moment. Thanks.